this meeting of Friday, July 27th, 2018 to order. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda? Hearing none, move on. I'd like to get approval of the minutes for June 2018.
So moved.
Second. Any corrections or thoughts on those minutes? See anything that look through? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Moving on to the financials, accept the motion to approve those financials.
Motion for that. Second.
Second. And we kind of have a regular reminder that our budget fluctuates due to the new market tax credit projects that are going on, money coming in, money coming out, and depending when the books are done each month, it makes a difference on the large sums that we see. Other than that, was there any other questions on the financials? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Our county administrator, Mr. Doug Stanley.
First, I want to introduce, for those who may not know, Jacob Dodson, Carol's son. Carol. Jacob's been an intern with our office for the past 3 years. He's entering his 4th year in EDA and has done a number of projects. I'll touch on that at the end a little bit, but been very helpful to our office getting some projects done that just don't have enough time to be able to do. Development Review Committee met on July 25th. We discussed projects in the county, including proposed auto body shop on Mountain Road, modification of a CUP for an auto repair garage on Park Hill Road, proposed Taco Bell in Riverton Common Shopping Center, proposed Valvoline Quick Lube in Riverton Common Shopping Center, and parking lot expansion, commuter lot next to the Exxon. The Exxon, Mr. Holtzman's proposing to build a Burger King on that kind of commuter lot that's on the east side of the Exxon. And he's buying the yellow building that's been there. It's been a kind of a scourge there for years. I'm going to tear that down and add about 40 parking spaces on that side. So that should be an improvement there for the entrance to the community there at Linden. The committee also talked about some in-town projects. The last phase of Happy Creek Knolls subdivision, that's section 4. Jennifer, that maybe about 20 some lots, maybe.
I think Gary said
Okay, close to 30. Obviously, starting to run out of in-town flat lots, and so volume is down, and that's probably going to be real quick. Proposed daycare in the Front Roll Business Park, an update on the F&N. The conceptual plans have been approved, and asbestos removal will begin soon, so we'll start to see some activity in that building. And also, Domino's Pizzas located the old CarQuest building in Commerce. I think Jennifer, they're going to have a sit-down area as part of that redevelopment. Committee will meet again on August 22nd.
we also discussed the Dunkin' Donuts, the building on South Street has been torn down.
Next to Spelunkers, they tore the old garage down and cleared that pad site. I think H&W is the contractor on that. And I would suspect that the next 2 or 3 months you'll start seeing some activity. Comprehensive plan update. The comp plan obviously designed to guide future actions of a community, presents a vision for the future, long-term objectives for all activities affecting local government. The county has contracted a consultant to conduct a visioning process to kick off the updated comp plan. We've actually got a survey out right now online, and it's on our Facebook page. And Jennifer, if you can make sure to get that to each EDA board members. We're really trying to get folks to respond to the survey. I want to say the last time we did one associated with the plan we adopted 5 years ago, maybe we had 700 or 800 surveys. I'd like to see us bump that number. But this information, along with the fact that we had a meeting on July 20th with 2 different groups of folks, including county, town, school system, EDA, and chamber folks, to get feedback on the progress of our community and school system. That information, along with our vision survey we used in the visioning session, to be held with the board. I expect that a couple members of the EDA board will be invited to participate with the board, the planning commission, school board members, in that process. So I'm sure Jennifer will be in touch. Reassessment, we've completed about a little over 20,000 parcels, about 78%, 5,400 to complete for the complete the project. Wingate is pretty much predominantly working inside town limits at this point. The plan is to have all the property visits completed by the end of September, and then they'll go back out and visit anything that's had a building permit activity since July of last year. So things that have changed since they started the process. And then, so October, they'll be running their edits and data reports to ensure the values are error-free, and then start to mail out notices. Notices will be mailed near the end of October. We'll show the hearing location, dates, times of hearings, proposed assessment, previous assessments, percentage of change, as well as what the current tax rate is. Administrative hearings, also known as the assessor's hearings, will begin having the 1st of November, and they expect those to be completed during the month of November, so that they can turn the book over in December pursuant to state law. So if you have any questions as we get to the process, feel free to reach out to me and let me know. July 24th, TACS, they're one of the 2 firms that handle delinquent tax collections, had a sale of 42 delinquent properties. Dan, I would think probably the most heavily attended sale we've had to date. We had to open the back room up with a boardroom. Sold all 42 properties, including a couple, at least 1 or 2 that didn't sell last time. The 42 properties brought a total of $186,100. Let's get some back on the tax rolls. The Pond Law Group is scheduled to have a sale hopefully this fall of about 30 properties as well. I reported on this last month, but we were in the process of completing our applications that are due August 1 for VDOT Smart Scale applications. That include Route 55 East corridor safety improvements. Last time we applied, the 4-lane half that road, and it was about 35 million, did not score well. And we're hoping that we go in there with a smaller project, a couple million, and try to put some additional signage, put some rumble strips on the outside and the center line, that we can at least improve the safety of the road until such time that we can get it widened. Exit 6 up on 66, extend the existing 345-22 southbound. That's from where we just did the widening with that road project out to the westbound ramp on 66. 345-22 north, we're looking at lighting, 1.6 mile segment, so basically from the bridges up to Rockland Road to add lighting. We had a fatality there at the signal at night at Country Club Road. Don't know if that was the cause of it, but certainly with all that traffic in that area, being able to light up that road and improve safety. And also Route 658 Rockland Road, building that overpass for Billy does not have to wait for the train. Right, Billy?
That's exactly right.
In addition, the Village Shenandoah Valley is going to be submitting 2 projects, one to widen, or excuse me, expand the parking lot down at Linden, and also to make some improvements there for Route 79 and 55 and change at Linden to make it function a little better. We received word in June that we've got revenue sharing funds for 5 projects over the next 2 years. We got additional $4.5 million on Crooked Run Boulevard. That's the one that we've been working with Mr. Murphy and the developer there on. Young's Drive, the Shenandoah Farms, Rural Edition, Old Oak Phase 4, Shenandoah Farms, 658 overpass, if we're not successful. This actually helps us score better with the Smart Scale. If we have local dollars which we matched, it helps us get additional points, and we're hoping that will allow us to score it in the Old Oak Phase 5. Old Oak Phase 4 and 5, this is a critical project. Shenandoah Farms has 42 miles of basically private roads. We're in the process with these 2 pieces, we'll be able to cut a hole through the middle of Shenandoah Farms to have a state road, which Greg can put his school buses on. So that's one of the kind of critical elements to be able to do that. Rusty Jeffries project is substantially complete, and we're going to have a ribbon cutting August 7th at 4 o'clock, and Greg's going to be sending out invitations. And you guys, as part of the New Market Tax Credit Project, and part of that, hopefully y'all can join us for that event. I don't imagine Greg will take too long.
No.
We get to play in the playground.
And you get to go play in the playground as soon as you're done.
We're in the process of renovating space at the Healthy Human Services for the Registrar's Office and Schools Brighter Futures Alternative Program. Right now, it looks like the school portion We're hoping to be done in August, but it looks like probably sometime in September by October 1, and the rest are by November 1. A revenue sharing project north of town is completed. We're just hoping to get final acceptance by VDOT, DEQ, and be able to get our final invoices. Thanks again to the EDA for spearheading that project. Morgan Ford's done. They've made most of the repairs. They've got a couple little things left, and then they'll hope to have ribbon cutting in August on that project before the next storm comes through. And commercial projects, again, so Royal Farms is completed. The Marriott, they've been actually making good progress here the last few months. They're still looking at a first quarter of 18, or 19, excuse me, first quarter 19 completion. And we've got site plans in on the new Taco Bell, the Burger King, and the Valvoline. Lastly, I've attached a memo that Jacob did as part of the EDA. I thought would be interesting for you guys. It compares local option sales tax with our neighbors to the north. And I've also included some graphs on revenue collection. These are our major categories since July 1 of 2008. You look at the look at the sales tax graph, and Warren County, last year in 17, we were 4.6 million. You look at 13, that 8.2 bump, that was when the mini power project was in. They were buying equipment which they had to pay sales tax on. But you look at, we've kind of steadily grown from 2.9 million in 2006 to 4.6. Look at Winchester. Of course, Winchester's had to bleed because you've had commercial growth in Frederick County. They've lost business, and they lost business to us. As ours has grown, they've lost some of their sales tax revenue. Frederick's gone from 9.6 to 13.9. Clark's gone from 1 to 1.9. So I thought that was a good report. And then you can see our different charges of sales tax and business licenses. Business licenses is leveled off. The big drop from 2007-8 is back when the town and the county, the town stopped allowing the county to collect business licenses in town. We phased it out, dropped about 25% a year over a 4-year period. And then of course you were right in the middle of the recession. So it's come back, and it's actually kind of leveled off. But again, just some information. There's at the end some information on median household income. We put together a share of Greg on student contributions. But with that, that's all my report. I'm certainly happy to answer any questions you might have.
Has anyone looked at, you talked about the west entrance to I-66, and that's much less of a problem than the east entrance where you have such a short place and trucks and everything. A lot of times those guys don't anticipate that they're going to make a left turn, even though they've been driving trucks and a lot of other people. And they come and they either stop in the road or they swing down in front of other people.
What that's probably going to necessitate ultimately is an extension of the turn lane on 66. And to be honest, a lot of times VDOT will address some of that stuff on its own. I don't want to use, we only get 4 applications a year. I don't want to use our 4 applications on a federal interstate project per se. But it's every once in a while you'll get a backup actually out onto the interstate. Because believe it or not, in the morning there's a lot of traffic coming from 66 that way into town and left on 522.
Look, I'd be interested. I really appreciate you putting these other numbers together for us, but I would love to see you and Greg put some information together on how we relate in salaries for our region, our district.
Well, that's good timing. The board just approved a salary study for county. This is the first time county and school board staff. We're actually using the same outfit that the town just used, Paypoint, to do the survey. So we will have a comparison. And we're not going to go look at Fairfax and Loudoun and Prince William. We're going to look at our region and how we compete locally. And I think I think Greg and I agree that we've got to be competitive here. We know we're going to bleed, we're going to lose folks to Loudoun County or wherever else. But
I thought we got past it, Doug. That's what's concerning me a little bit. For a long time, our loss was in the first, we'd get them out, they'd stay with us a year or two, and they'd boogie. And I thought we'd gotten past that, but this year, when I'm looking at the group that left us this year, it seems to be teachers with a little bit more experience than that are leaving us.
We had a higher starting salary than Frederick. The problem is your 5 to 10 years is
We,
where,
we keep 90% of our people the second year. By the fifth year, we only keep 28%.
So I think that's the area we need to take a look at, and,
but we got the same problem with firefighters and sheriff's deputies and all that stuff. So that's one of the, bring a third party in and have them come in and look at all those issues and lay it out. And the goal is to have that report, we'll be just into the starting budget after the first of the year to have that report prepared, ready.
thank you.
Doug, have you heard any more from VDOT on the parking ride along Beachfront Parkway?
I haven't actually, it's one of the things we could have applied for funding, but haven't heard any more. But I would certainly, especially once the hospital gets up and running, I think the interest will pick up. But I think that's, especially since part of that property's in the floodplain, that we use that property. But I think just hold that in our cards and just wait and see what happens.
Thank you, Doug. Always good to hear all the good things going on for our community. Joe's not here this morning, and Nikki's not here this morning, so we're just going to close. And Jennifer McDonald is here this morning.
You have my written report in your packet. Starting July 1, the county is now funding 12.5% of our operating budget. Last year it was 25%. So there is a reduction in the operation cost in the county.
That money went to Greg.
Teachers-
1 year only.
Went to our salaries, right?
1 year only. Next year we'll go up to 50%. IT Federal continues the construction of their building. They started putting up the sidewalls this week. So if you go out, when you leave today, you can see that they're doing that. The police department continues to work on their facility. Mr. Waltz said they still anticipate a completion date, December of 2018. They have started the lift station in West Main Street Extended. BJ Foltz, I believe, or BG Foltz is the contractor for both of those. The Afton Inn, as Doug mentioned earlier, they are starting to remove the asbestos from that building, hopefully next week. They get all of their permits, so then they can move forward with the stabilization and the demo of that front part of the building. 506 and 514 East Main Street, that is the former Stoke Smart building. We started some renovations for a future prospect that we will talk about in closed session, but it looks as though we're hoping to have a business in there and open by September 1st. Leash Run Parkway, the little dip on 55 was repaired. We continue to work with Branch Highways on the punch list items. Hopefully we can close that project out and get VDOT to sign off on that. McKay Springs, we had one inquiry in June on that property. We were receiving a lot of inquiries on that and it slowed down, so I'm not sure why or what was happening before when we were receiving 3 or 4 a month. But we will continue to market that for the town and the county. Ball Drive, we've had several prospects in. We're discussing in closed session another prospect for that building. Doug already talked about the Development Review Committee. And then you have a list of all of our mortgage liabilities. And again, who funds what, the percentages. If it's 100% EDA, it's in the blue. The 80-20 is in the pink, and then the 66-34 is in the green. And then you also had in your packet a copy of the commercial permits for this quarter. That's all I have in open session. I did attach the Afton Inn renderings that were submitted to the Planning Commission, just so you guys can have that. So this is what the new facility they have proposed.
I think that's what it looked like when I walked to school in front of the 7 years.
Is that right? Is that your car?
He wishes, he wishes.
No, it's nice to see that project moving forward.
Yes.
All right. Any questions for Jennifer? All right. Do we have any old business? I didn't see us any listed there. Staff comments, Missy, what would you like to tell us?
No, sir.
Any director comments?
I've got one, Greg, I'd like to say. Over the last several months, I have noticed a significant uptick in interest and activity from outside of our community looking in. As some of you know, I do deal with people who are looking at Front Royal for potential things, and there has been a significant uptick in the last 60 days. And I hope that continues. I think a lot of good things are happening in the community right now. And I think the Board of Supervisors, the DA Board and others share a good, and the town council share in that push forward, and I think we need to continue that. And I think it'll help us in a lot of different directions, but I think we all need to be moving in the same direction and trying to see the community grow, and I think we're doing that. And hopefully this interest that is being shown now will continue.
No.
Is that like housing or commercial?
It's a little bit of everything. I had the opportunity, I think I mentioned this to Jennifer about a week ago, that I met with a number of people doing different types of investment in Virginia, in Northern Virginia. I met them, and they're now looking at Front Royal for things, and they're asking what's going on, where is this, and this. And I think a lot of it is we put a significant amount of effort into the areas that they deem important. The hospital is a major step. The success of our school system is a major step. And I think we've shown that we're willing to spend the money. Infrastructure improvements are happening. And I think that's always important, that they see the community is investing money in itself to make it better. And I think the fact that there seems to be a certain amount of cooperation now going on all three levels. And I think one of the things that many people don't realize, these people read the newspaper. They don't even talk to me until they've done their homework. And so they've already researched our area. They're probably getting the newspapers. They're reading everything that's going on. And when we have negative articles in the newspapers or on press of bickering going on between us, it doesn't show well. And that seems to have been at a fairly level area for some time. I mean, there's been a few hiccups along the way, but nothing major. And these people look for stability. And I think Doug will attest to this. He talks to them probably more than I do. But, you know, it's good to finally be out there hearing good things instead of hearing bad things.
No, that's a good comment.
I was wondering about this letter until I saw you signed it. I think it would be trash.
Any other director comments? We're ready to flow into closed session. Somebody have that?
Hey, Jennifer, if you want to discuss downtown, that's not part of the motion. If you want to discuss going on downtown.
Oh,
So you just need to say Main Street,
Main Street.
you say Main Street Front Royal.
Yeah, will you read off that?
Huh?
Can you just read off your?
Jennifer, if I may, did you receive email, the report from Joe? Okay.
He may have sent that to Missy.
Okay. But we had talked about it yesterday.
Do you have it, Thomas?
Excuse me?
Do you have a copy of it?
I don't have it with me, no. But I feel it's important that you have that report. Jesse, did you get a report from Joe?
Your report from Joe.
Yes.
Because the board doesn't have a report.
You ready?
Might want to hold a
That's what-
second. Might want to hold a second.
Yeah, let's see what she finds there. Yeah, we always do look forward to what the town's report tells us about.
Absolutely, you know, with the strong relationship we have with the county and the EDA, it's very important, everybody knows what everybody's doing.
Yeah, I'm immediately. On top.
You can have Missy stand up and read it.
She's waiting.
What's that?
Missy can fill in for Joe and read
There
it.
you go.
To us.
Yeah.
Comes on mute.
Mike can edit it with Joe's face on his.
I don't think you'll appreciate the work.
Hey, Ron, and you're right on what you brought up, because being part of the implementation team to bring our plan here, there was a team that was there assigned.
You know that old yellow
Was
building
building
next to the gas station?
Yeah.
Tim's Field.
Yeah.
I hear it a lot.
So
That used to be a.
Sometimes it never ceases to amaze me how much they know. I mean, and they'll bring
Somebody
something
just
up.
anything out there.
Locked it down.
That's
their soldier. Used to research it, because their corporations spend a lot of money.
No, I agree.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
I wonder, usually it does give a report.
So, why not, the last time he was the mayor, this time, mine, March, email, when he first and I was short.
So he owns
Washington Gas.
the right side is
Important things that are going to affect.
on the right side.
We're working with.
Yeah, and that's gonna be there.
And I didn't see it in anybody's package.
It wasn't in our board packet. What I do is I read it online first. I don't run it off, and I just pick up my time. It wasn't online.
Thank you, Mr.
So Joe's report, the Route 522 corridor water upgrade reliability. I think that one's a repeat from last month. They're in the preliminary. Maybe it doesn't say. They're working on that. The afternoon discusses that the bar approved the design. They're still working on the community development block grant. Kreiser Road Bridge replacement. Archer Western started construction on June 4th. Target completion date September 4th. Happy Creek Road Phase 2. They're working with Pinoni on updated road design. The old VDOT estimate for the project was $5,700,000. Town's working with VDOT to develop a new cost estimate. IT Federal, GB Foltz mobilized June 16. 6 months completion for the pump station. Main Street Extension, GB Foltz mobilized June 16. 6 months for the completion of that. The police department, still on target for completion date of December 31st. Washington Gas and Light, they're conducting 3 studies, population projections, route options, and economic impact model. And then the Westminster Sidewalk Project, they've completed the first phase of the project with removal of trees along the sidewalk. They cannot advertise until October for additional funds.
Do you know the Washington Gas and Light, it says that they approved it in 2017. When do you expect to have some information back on that?
We've been working with them, and I think Greg has been working with them as well. They did finalize some of the information, but they were still working on some other information that they needed. I'm thinking probably August, September, we'll have a report that we can submit to the board. And then I'm thinking within 3 to 5 years, they'll have a pilot project started.
So it's one of those long-term.
So, can I ask Hollis a question related to? Hollis, because we've gone through a period of such heavy rain that we've had, there's obviously been a lot of structural issues with water runoff and how to handle water and so forth. The last 2 major storms that we had caused significant flooding from 6th Street down to the intersection of Commerce and Northville Avenue.
Yes.
A lot of businesses, a lot of houses were damaged down there with significant damage.
I own 2 properties down there. One of them took 5 feet of water in the basement, the other took 4. One of them, a commercial building that I own down there, had water run all the way through it, from front to back, off of Northville Avenue. I had a discussion with the Public Works Department. First, let me back up. First, I contacted the police department asking for their assistance in blocking off the road, and I was told it had to come from Public Works. So I then contacted Public Works asking for them to consider in the future blocking that section of Northville Avenue and rerouting traffic. Because what happens, and this is what a significant amount of the problem was this past time, is you get 2 or 3 feet of water out there on Northville Avenue, like we've had, and then you get everybody with a large truck jacked up in the air that wants to drive through it as fast as they can go, and you create waves. And the waves are sometimes as much as 3 or 4 feet that they create when they go through that water. And what happened this time in particular, it pushed the water off of Northville Avenue to back around between the buildings and back around back, and it actually came in the back door of a lot of the buildings down, a lot of the rental properties down, or houses I have down there. It didn't come in off the front. Now, in some cases, we did take leakage in the front of the buildings too because of the amount of water that was involved. But this time, it actually wrapped around to the side and behind the houses and came in. And all of it was a direct result of not having proper traffic maintaining down there. So an easy fix to that is to divert traffic from either 6th Street up over the hill in front of the hospital and way, or around to Commerce Avenue and bring them in past it. Because almost most of the damage is occurring between the old Hardee's building and Commerce Light. And if you could do something to improve that, it would be significantly appreciated. This was a significantly damaging storm for that area. The last 2 of them.
Discuss that with the town manager and see what he can come up with staff. I recognize, and everybody recognizes that, especially from the 90 Pine, water does have a tendency of building up because the runoff is not adequate. And in front of you, you're getting ocean waves, and I have seen it myself. So.
Well, to show you how bad it is, I don't think, even today as we're sitting here, several weeks after the major storms, I don't think the lines underneath the Northville Avenue have been cleaned. They're all stopped up. Nothing's flowing. I've got water pooling in my front yard because it won't drain through the sewer main right in front of my house. So the water is pooling back in my yard because I can't. The line underneath the Northville Avenue seems to be blocked. But it's not only that line, it's the next one up. It's pooling there too. That one's a little bit better. But if those lines aren't open and flowing, everything's puddling and pooling.
Yes.
And that's what's
Backs
happening.
up all the way back.
That's what's happening.
Okay. Has a domino effect. I'll bring that to the attention of the town. Work on the staff level.
Thanks for, Mr. House, for Mr. Sutter for bringing up.
Absolutely. I guess one major change, we were waiting on Washington Gas and Light to see where they were going to run, so we could run in maybe in the same ditch. But apparently they have chosen to run parallel to us already, so we don't be.
Didn't match up.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, we are ready for closed session.
I, Tom Patterson, move that the Board of the EPA vote to go into closed meeting under the provisions of Section 2.2-3711 of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act for the following purposes. Section 2.2-3711A1, discussion, consideration, or interviews of prospective candidates for employment, assignment, appointment, promotion, performance, demotion, salaries, disciplining, or resignation of specific public officers, appointees, or employees of any public body. I further move that discussion be limited to Executive Director's quarterly review. Section 2.2-3711A5, discussion concerning a prospective business or industry or expansion of an existing business or industry where no previous announcement has been made of the business or industry's interest in locating or expanding its facilities in the community. Such business to be located on the Avtech site, Stevens Industrial Park, Happy Creek Technology Park, and Main Street. Section 2.2-3711A8, consultation with legal counsel employed or retained by a public body regarding specific legal matters requiring the provision of legal advice by such counsel. I further move that discussion be limited to the discussion of EDA loan programs.
Roll call vote, please.
Latin, aye.
Patterson, aye. Wallen, aye.
Come on.
And Drescher, aye. We are enclosed.